16-13 on their own map choice, and now we move on to a little more of an interesting game, I guess you could definitely say. Joining me once again is going to be Harry, and predictions coming into the second map I'd love to hear.
Yeah, I mean, in front it's a bit of a weird one. It's, you know, for Big, it's not one they're particularly great on, but it's one that they've had a couple of successes on in the past. When you look at FlipSid, it's a map where statistically they're not that great on, but it's their most played, so they've definitely had a lot of practice on it. And usually it's one that we see them tend to pick up against teams of perhaps a higher caliber, usually up towards kind of the tier 1. Big have had wins on this map versus the likes of Gambit, LDLC, and FlipSid in the past. So that's kind of an interesting thing really to take note of. As for FlipSid, really their notable wins fall down to Rogue and Tengri, both of them going through to OT, so I don't think it's a particularly strong map for FlipSid either. I do have to say I'm going to lean the way Big once again, but based on how we saw in that last map them play, that made no sense. But yeah, you know, I mean, I feel like FlipSid do still have the chance of making their way back into this in a big way. But anyway, enough of that. Hugo Byron, as we can see, FlipSid making their way out towards mid early on. Wayland going to be able to catch Keeve off guard over towards long and decapitate him. As now there's 3 players up here towards A. They pull the immediate rotate in from B. They leave Tabson aggressively up towards long. And next trying to land some chance shots in through long. Does the damage on a Waylander and cuts him down.
Yeah, only Blade there now on long is going to have to throw out the smoke, but next takes 2, destroying Markelov as well, pushing through short as Tabson comes in on the rotation. He's flanked this way round. Blade finally striking onto God B, and it's a 3-on-3, but Tabson, he's still in the back lines, he's still behind the enemies as Legia strikes on the site, and Tabson will close it. It's Big to pick up the round, and a 1-0 coming in here for the CT side. And yeah, I mean, statistically this isn't a great map for FlipSid, I do agree, but one thing you have to take into account is the only thing we've seen them play in the recent few months are the Binary Dragons Cup and the last season of ESCA Premier, which they only kind of plateaued out in the middle as well. So realistically, they've had a lot of time to put some work into a map, some, you know, at least maybe come up with new strategies, anything interesting like that. They've had so much downtime in non-league play, so I'm excited to see if they have anything to surprise us, because again, if it's a bad statistical map for them, Big, a team that like to veto to the, you know, strengths of their own, and sorry, not the strengths of their own, to the weaknesses of their opposition, they're likely not going to be expecting this map to be a pick for FlipSid, so seeing this come through means they definitely have something or some reason why they've gone for this pick.
They are just biding their time. 4 players over towards long for FlipSid with that late push out from Markelov in connector. Just keeping that secure, doesn't want to allow Big to grab control of that for the fast rotates in from behind when the A execute does come on in. Keeve going to be here alone. Waiting. Does now have actually some support from God B and Tabson as they once again pull the rotate early on in from that B bomb site with 3 players over here towards A. Blade actually going to be clearing out connector for the potential change of pace in towards that B bomb site. They're trying to throw a bit of a fake with very little utility behind them. Only that solitary smoke on Blade. Anything that makes you think otherwise, if you've got Waylander all the way down long, and he's in a position where he can't easily rotate, he has somewhat been lost to the dedication of this push, and as he walks into the crosshair of Keeve, the peak going to come on in. The first frag goes the way of Big, and now things are going to start to heat up a bit as the push comes in.
Going to be making the way onto the site. It's Tabson going to be defending this one. He has so much support though, so it's not going to be an issue. Keeve will strike onto Markelov once again, and this will just be a complete wipe down, it seems. Big shutting down FlipSid, but look at the time remaining anyway. They only had 10 seconds, so it's not like that round was realistic at all. As we can see, it is going to be 2-0 for Big, only losing 1 player in the process, and now it's going to be FlipSid again on the eco. No money to invest here. Blade can get a P250, but that's really at most. As we can see, Wilder has a little more cash, but he's saving for that AWP, so no investment from him. And Big, more SMGs are going to be coming through. This will just be, you know, the money farm round, the free round where they're just going to get $600 a piece. And FlipSid, I can't expect too much with just 2 P250s and no utility. Already the nade damage has done huge amounts of damage.
I love it when the nade damage does huge amounts of damage. Look at this. Keeve, he spied out electronic over towards short, and that nade, the slam dunk, and the MP9 round to the face, all clinically proven to bring death as Keeve extends that hand that much further over towards mid. Waylander going to tag down God B with a Glock over in mid, and rocking out with his Glock out does pay off for the time being. Now Keeve looking to try and keep the MP9 train rolling. That nade, goodbye Blade, as he goes down. It all falls on a wall. They did to try and make something happen over in mid, raining death from afar with the Glock. Keeve going to be tagged down to 27 HP as he does fade away back into the relative safety of this B-bomb site. Just Waylander and World at it left standing. The UMP juggled onto the back of well, that who's going to get completely annihilated, and Waylander falls as well. They find a little bit of damage on a God B at least, but don't get too much done elsewhere.
Here's the buy. Here's what we've all been waiting for, to see Big, if they commit, keep these SMGs or buy up around it. We do have Kyiv on that AWP, so that's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, still a couple of SMGs in play. My favourite, the MP9, alongside the UMP as well on leg gear. And this is more so quite a bonus round. I mean, they have money to fall back on, but they've invested a fair bit as well, considering the AWP is now up for Kyiv and he has no money to fall back on. So they've put quite a lot into winning this round. They've got to be very careful, considering they do have a couple of SMGs, but good nade damage early on. Wayland is down to 40, 60 with 2 nades there, so Big early on taking a good advantage to some regard, but tabseN's tagged up as well, thanks to the return fire from FlipSid. So focusing towards Kyiv, he's going to be on B. We have 3 players there. Big not really going for any aggressive mid control. It's just going to be God B playing close in the toilets with that SMG. But the issue is, they can just sneak up through short and take control of A. With tabseN only spotting through long, FlipSid really have a lot of options. The issue is they don't have the information. They don't know where Big is set up. So it's unlikely they're just going to sneak in and get a free sight without any control or any information from Big.
Bomb's been dropped back very, very passively, waiting to see if FlipSid could try and find the man advantage early on and then capitalize on the back of that. With only 45 seconds left, though, time being a major point for FlipSid to try and pick up on. They got to watch out. The bomb is going to be picked up by Waylander as he doubles on back to go and get it. And now he's going to look to rejoin Electronic over towards that B bomb site. It looks like their fate has been decided and that B is the site in question currently. 2 players residing here in the form of Nex and Allegia. The rotates coming on through, the fake smoke thrown out towards A to try and keep those players from rotating, and it looks like they might even keep a player here in the backline in the form of Blade, who's currently rubbing shoulders with God B. They're pushing towards the B bomb site, going to come in as Legia finds the first with the UMP, quickly trading out to the A, going to try and keep this death train rolling on towards the site. Legia's not done just yet, picks himself up a second, well did it, alone in towards this B bomb site with the AWP in hand. There's no time left though. He won't be able to get the bomb down. He continues in towards the B bomb site. Does at least eliminate tabseN. Kyiv just looking to try and maintain the AWP. Opts to hide away. But Big will be able to find themselves a 4th. Once again, Hugo, time the issue for FlipSid.
Yeah, that's just the second, well, not the second time. I can't even speak. The first time this map, but they've done it many times in the previous as well. Over on Cash, over on that T side, they left it far too late, and they did catch them out quite a few instances as well. So seeing them do this over on Overpass, this is not a good idea. It's a very CIS region thing where a lot of teams from this region do like to leave it to the last second. I mean, Na'Vi being the famous case, right? But typically FlipSid have been a team that aren't the ones that run out of time this commonly, at least this much, right? Because they've done it what, 4 times, 5 times in Cash, and now they've done it already twice in this map. If you count that second round where they forced ball up and didn't get anything done, so yeah, it's a real issue here for the Ukrainian side, and hopefully they can work that problem out. But again, really silly mistakes here. They are going to be forcing up on the FlipSid side, considering they did save 2 rifles, and Big, they have that AWP still on Kyiv alongside the rifles. It's a bit of a B play. Nice aim there, but it's just going to miss out as Legia, he's going to be alone towards barrels now. Picks up the first as Electronic tries to chase that kill, knowing there's a close player, but no trade coming out because flashbangs and molotovs hold back the rest of FlipSid. Big are picking up all the kills on this B side of the map. Running through smoke, tabseN will find himself Blade, and now 3 remain here for FlipSid.
Still 2 players dedicated out towards this B bomb site, but somehow working his way in the backline. It's going to be Waylander, the linchpin in this round, the one who could do so much damage. But as they lose Markelov down in towards B, it all falls onto Waylander, the man on the flank. They're trying to sniff him out best they can up towards A. Nex is watching the eventual push in through heaven and just decapitates him. And Big will be able to find another round. Still money on the side of FlipSid can facilitate a bit of a buy up here. Waylander with enough to purchase Blade and Electronic as well. Markelov and, well, that it would be relegated down to pistols and armor, or a UMP and armor. But they might just make the decision here, which I think would be the smart one, to make them force buy down around about $2,000. They have the loss bonus. They can try and do the damage anyway, and they will be forcing down what they can.
Nice early smoke from Big. They know what they're up against. Pistols are going to be coming through, so they actually throw that monster smoke to disallow any kind of fast T-side rush. However, Short isn't covered, but Nex will take their head off of Waylander as he charges on in alone there. No trade for FlipSid. This is turning into a very difficult match so far. But again, you got to take into account we saw a massive stomp for Big in the first half of Cash, and when they switched over to the T side, they had their own issues, and FlipSid, mounted a sizable comeback. So it's definitely not over for FlipSid, even if a dire half is ensuing. You just need a few rounds on the T side to fall back on, and this one's a lot more CT sided than Cash as well, so it gives a lot more opportunity for FlipSid going into that second half. But either way, it's going to be 3 players now remaining for FlipSid. One very tagged up, that's World Edit. And Big not even taking a lick of damage now. The bomb will be retrieved. And the players rejoining World Edit as Ane just chips away at him once more. And they've got to head in towards this B site. But again, really? A B250, a Tech 9, a Deagle. They're showcasing all the pistols, but probably not any frags.
You said, yeah, World Edit, 3 HP in a dream. The dream of editing the world. Changing the future that we see in front of us as he looks to try and forge and blaze a new path in towards this B-bomb site with the bomb in tow. Electronic and Markelov ready to push on in as well to assist him as best they can. Only 25 seconds left. Leggy is already holding down the angle, and they're just going to get decimated. They line up for him and offer him that 4K on a silver platter. It will be Big to go ahead and find themselves a 6th round. As FlipSid now with the opportunity to buy on down, buy up what they can. The AWP on World Edit, rifles across the board. And it looks to be a similar case as to what we saw on Cash. A strong CT side to kickstart this for Big. Hopefully, though, their T side's going to be looking a little bit stronger as well. We saw that last one get extremely close. So FlipSid can chain together a couple of rounds here. That would be ideal for them, as we did see in the previous map. Big struggling a little bit on their T side earlier on.
Yeah, but at least we have the AWP now up for World Edit. Full buy coming through here for the FlipSid team. And this is their make or break, but aggression's going to be brought in from Tabs, and the confidence on this man is nuts, and the aim as well. Takes down Wayland early on. Godby going to support, and Keeve even drops Markelov one by one. They all fall short this round. Electronic and World Edit last 2 alive, but Big, they haven't even taken a kill yet. They've got 5 players. This is just a complete done deal. World Edit doesn't even know where Legia is, despite killing his teammate, and he's just going to get tunnel visioned down the tunnel as Legia picks up 2 kills on the B site. Big taking themselves 7-0, and FlipSid with no response back. We are going to see the buy. They have money to fall back on other than World Edit, who's been investing in those AWPs, but he can at least buy up body armor AK or UMP if he wants to get utility. The rest of them up are on the rifles here, so
at this point, right? I would be getting out my my missing posters for a couple of these people, because where the hell is Markelov? Where's the pause? That would be another good point to bring up. At this point, you're 7-0 down. They haven't even taken a pause to try and figure out what's going wrong. And, I mean, we know that FlipSid aren't a team to shy away from taking these pauses. I just think, being in round number 8, currently 7-0 down with an economy that's almost broken and bare bones on the back of this once again, it's not looking good. I mean, Big, they're amounting a shed load of money between them. And, I mean, this is kind of do or die for FlipSid here. They're 7 rounds behind. This is their map pick, and it's one that they have to pick up after Big already won out Cash earlier on today. In case you did miss that, you can catch it as the VOD later on. Keeve able to find the first, so as Electronic goes down, the man advantage going the way of Big off the bat. No trade frag found. Instead, FlipSid opting just to hold their ground before waiting to go for a bit of a late push in towards his B-bombs. Blades worked his way into the back line and is just going to get decimated, because the back line is a dangerous place when Godby is watching with his eagle eyesight from afar. It is now on Markelov, World Edit, and Wayland to try and haul them through this, and they're going to get decimated. They still haven't found a frag, and this can't be a reoccurring problem. They have to start killing people eventually, and Markelov comes in angry, comes in swinging, but is going to just get decapitated by Nex.
Keeve goes flying off the heavens there after that shot from Markelov, but that is the only benefit of the round. 2 kills, so not even enough to stunt Big's buy here. They're still going to have full rifles coming into this one. As you said, they've amounted a huge amount of cash from these 8 rounds in a row now. And FlipSid, on the other hand, complete opposite situation for them. They've only got pistols. Markelov and some armor thanks to his damage done in the previous round, but again, this is another throwaway. As you say, pause needs to be called after this round. If there's no pause called, I'm not sure what's going on with FlipSid. They usually are, they have Blade, they have that player who can, make that elected decision to call in the pause, take that second to kind of work out what they want to do or work out what's going wrong. But right now, it just seems like so many solo one-on-one fights. FlipSid aren't trading effectively at all. That seems to be one of the main issues. And it's not even time at this point like it was so much in Cash. This is just them not knowing how to trade. Keeve does pick up one despite being very low. Eventually it will be dropped by Markelov, but Godby responds on the site. The AWP being grabbed by the right man for FlipSid as well. Then it picks that one up. And the flashes will go over, waiting for him to Find himself another kill, try and find himself another pick back into the site, but 2 wrong truck already. Leggy's as well supporting from the headshot angle, and they're just going to run on in. They don't care, they're chasing these frags as Tabson removes the face of World Edit, and Blade will get dropped as well. Tabson, as you would expect, on fire as usual. He's currently doing very well, 8-1, but so is everyone on Big. No one's falling behind. Gob's 4-4, but again, it's not like he's having a bad game. Everyone else is just stealing the kills away. It's Big to find 9 rounds, and we need to see a pause from FlipSid. Where is this pause?
You guys, I never told you have the perfect voice to be the Bob Ross of esports.
Okay. You've never told me
I think
that.
you could, you know, you could be like, a couple of little frags over here, just a couple of little happy frags, and that's what FlipSid need as they charge in towards its B bomb site. Leggy is going to be tagged down low, but they still haven't found any sort of opener. Tabson's completely blind, and they're going to run right into him. They do the damage on the Leggy, and Tabson next to ball, next trying to trade things back, and this is it. The change of pace from FlipSid going to be paying off in a big way, as suddenly it's a 2-on-3. The bomb going to be going down as Godby and Keeve come in ferociously for the retake. Godby just pushing straight into the site, wasting no time. There is a smoke down, but he's going to go ahead and walk straight through it. Got to watch out because World is there, but he picks up the first. The trade comes in instantaneously from Blade. FlipSid now looking like a well-oiled machine. And while Keeve, he's watching the angle. That Molotov doesn't quite burn out Electronic, so he's going to think it's clear, but it's not. Lurking in the shadows is going to be Electronic, and he might have spotted him there on the jump peek out across the bomb. Timer ticking down far too low. It all falls on the Blade, who goes in for the trade, and he finds the frag. Keeve will hit the deck, and FlipSid will be able to find themselves their first round.
Finally, going for that fast burst play, switching up the pace. We've talked about a lot how FlipSid are leaving these rounds to the last possible second, and therefore running out of time quite a lot, even on these full buys. So now, just going for the straight up charge into B, that's great. The issue is, that's kind of a one-trick pony. You can't do that every round, because Big are just going to molly it if they expect a fast play once again. So, looking at this one now, FlipSid are really susceptible to the reset, and if that comes through, if Big pick up this round, we're going to have no money for the T side. And as I say, molly's coming in for Big early on. They don't want FlipSid to just rush before they get into their CT setup. So now, FlipSid need to pull off a normal, slow round, and if they don't do that, their money's going to be screwed. Keeve, caught alone in long. Flashes will come through. Going to go for the peak. Doesn't land a thing. Fully blind thanks to that flashbang from FlipSid. And if they can get up close on long, like Blade has been doing, they can actually take him down. But I think he seems to be aware as Blade rounds a corner. Flash goes in. Keeve turns away, but counter flash coming in from the CT side as well. Legia still able to pick up the first kill for Big. And they need to get rid of Keeve. He is the man to watch out for in this round as he finally strikes. Blade will get taken down, peeking fast into the toilets. And Big taking a 5-on-3.
Waylander looking to try and turn the tide of battle, but Keeve's there with the AWP. Steadfast and firm, going to do the damage. Tags him in through the wall, and then picks it up on the second shot. Has to watch out because over in long, World Edit's here with an AWP of his own, desperately trying to pull this one back, but Godby on the peak. It all falls onto Markelov. 1v5, and it's another round where FlipSid failed to find anything, any nuance of a kill between them. Keeve being the only player who's actually faced any damage. Tagged down a 67 HP. He's still looking healthy. Well, Markelov looking to try and hold on to the AK, sorry, if he can, over towards Party, just biding his time. It's really not looking good for FlipSid at this point. The economy's going to be down and out, and as he rounds the corner, Keeve will pick him off. Very little money between them. 2 players who can afford to buy. But I think we might just see them invest down on about, you know, that kind of $2,200 mark. Even then, the buying of the next round is going to be very difficult. So, if you're FlipSid, what can you do at this stage?
Pause. We've been saying it for about 4 rounds now. Where's the pause? Where is it, Harry? It's completely missing. It's such a shame to see as well as missing. We can look out for Electronic and World Edit because they're nowhere on the scoreboard. World Edit, the man, to really step up with that AWP. And even Electronic, the, latest addition, I guess you could say, to FlipSid. Not exactly a new addition, but latest. And he's the man to constantly step up and get these early frags here for FlipSid. He is that man with a lot of insane raw talent. But he is completely off this game. Nothing is happening. And after a great map in the previous one, only just falling short, it seems to have really gotten to these guys. They're not getting anything done, especially considering this is their map pick. This is map 2 for those wondering who weren't here earlier. It's a 5-on-3. Godby's taking another one onto World Edit, and Big, they are showing no signs of slowing down.
And you could be fooled into thinking that this was Big's map pick all day long, but FlipSid were the ones who picked this one up. It all falls onto Electronic, who sadly short circuits in that 1v4, maybe? I don't know. That's probably a little bit too far-fetched to use as anything. But anyway, 11-1 right now is Big. They find themselves at 10 rounds ahead. At FlipSid, we'll be able to buy up once again. But the buy is going to look fairly disgraceful for a team that just had to Eco into the previous Markov with a Galil and a little bit of utility. Electronics going to be having a UMP in order to pick up that Molotov and smoke. And already their utility just being expended early on. The aggression going to come out through middle as Tabson. There's no brakes on the Tabson train, and that's well that it's there. The buffer to shut him down annihilates him on the push out through mid, and that'll be the man advantage turn now in favor of FlipSid.
Finally, they take this first pick. There's been an underwhelming issue here, or overwhelming issue for FlipSid, as they constantly lose men early on and get into 5v3s just 20 seconds into the round with no trade potential. Now they've actually got a 5-on-4. I'm hopeful that they'll be able to make something of it. I don't want to see this scoreline go the way of Big. Even if they win, I want to see a closer game, and Waylander picking up another kill. God B, aggression. Attempting to refrag later on into the round will fall. And now FlipSid are in a perfect spot. They just need to take their time. No need to rush onto a site. But that being said, they can't leave it too late, because that's been, again, one of the main issues we've been seeing them do. But the A site has 2 players on right now, and that's going to be something dangerous. As they reroute up through middle, it's looking very likely they could hit over through A. And if they do, they're going to be walking into 2 very dangerous players, Nex and Kiev. Strong additions for Big. And Waylander about to walk right into it through the toilets.
Oh, Kiev going to unscope at just the right time to allow Waylander to push on out, but showing no remorse, going to tag him down. The P comes out from World. I think he might have missed the first couple of shots, but he's not going to miss the ladder. Gets himself 2 Markovs on the side, but Kiev's not slowing down for anyone.
Oh my
Kiev,
God.
what are you doing? You're a madman. He's going to get all 5. Oh my God, Kiev is actually insane. A monster, an animal. Something from your wildest nightmares. He is going to be the man to put the nail in the coffin for FlipSid. 12-1. Kiev with 1 heart racer of a round.
You can't, you can't help but laugh. You cannot help but laugh. Big, not even Big, Kiev, 19 kills right now. He just completely tore FlipSid apart. After that first kill, you knew it was going to happen. You knew he was going to ace. That is absolutely phenomenal. You don't see that every day. And now we see FlipSid completely shut down after that round. They are going to be back down to pistols. A fast play up through A is going to be what the doctor ordered, but maybe not prescribed, as Waylander will be the only man to pick up a kill alongside Electronic. It's Kiev to pick up 3 more. 2 with a pistol. He doesn't care. Big are picking up 13-1, and FlipSid, this game's over, I think, at this point. There's nothing they can do.
He needs to just tone it down a bit. Kiev, what the hell is going on? This man is not a man. He's been replaced by a machine. He's absolutely insane. 13-1 right now. FlipSid going to be buying down what they can. Is it enough to put a stop to Kiev? Let's find out, as well, they're going to be making their way out towards mid. Kiev actually opting to play things passively. Instead, going to be handing the handicap the way of FlipSid. They say, you know what, we'll unleash Kiev if the situation requires it, but for the time being, we'll let you take control of mid. And FlipSid, they're going to relish in the fact that Big do give them some control early on, but Kiev, the beast, over towards long, biding his time. God, B's playing up close in mid as well. Smoke is down to protect him as he watches the push in through toilets. He hears some footsteps sneaking around. Kiev turning his attention over towards long. Luckily enough for FlipSid, no one's opted to go there just yet and walk into the beast that is Kiev, although this beast might be able to rear its head once more, as now they turn their attention towards long, and this could be their death note signed as they stack on up.
Very dangerous. Smoke will go in deep. That will allow them to push up. But look at Godby's position. Kiev as well joining him, pushing in through the smoke. See you, Waylander. You only have a couple of seconds left. Kiev. Oh, he spots the jump, but Godby has to do the damage as Kiev backs off. Waylander goes down early. But Godby, he's still not done. He's chasing these frags. Only 7 bullets left, and he's going for the fight. Taps him in the meantime. Takes down another and Blade. He's going to take the head off of Godby. Kiev looking to help out his team. And the A side gets overrun. But Kiev, he's not stopping today. 2 frags in 1 bullet, and only Blade remains towards long. He's probably going to get the trade, but that doesn't matter because Tabson's there. And Kiev is not stopping. 14 rounds to Big. Only giving up a single one in the half to FlipSid. And we will be heading over to the second half in just a second. I'm sure these guys want to get right onto that.
What can you do when Kiev is doing that? What, Hugo Byron, look me in the eye. If you were FlipSid, I would just swallow my medicine and slip peacefully away into that good night. As Big, I mean, they're currently 14-1 in their favor. Kiev is looking phenomenal, and the pistol round here quite literally decides the outcome of this series.
Saving strats for major qualifier, it seems. FlipSid's map pick 1 round on their terrorist half. After 13 over on Cash, a phenomenal attempted comeback, but just falling short. It seems like going into this map, it's not looking too positive for the Ukrainians. They've got to pull the magic off right now on this CT side. A big utility up on Gob, setting up outside of B. They've got to rush into this one. There are a lot of players here for FlipSide, 4 in fact, as Electronic is rotated in through CT, but the smoke goes over. The flashes will follow, and we are going to see a horde of Germans charge out onto this B site.
Yeah, next to trade things out, but actually Markelov and Wayland are going to make things difficult. Markelov's tapping on heads like you do, gets himself 3. It's all on Gob B in this 1v3, trying to clutch things out from over towards short, but Markelov, the death bringer. First time I've had to call him that in this whole matchup. He is going to go ahead and get himself 4, which is a nice change here for FlipSide. They're going to pick up the pistol, and this should at least allow them to try and bring things back to hopefully a bit more of a respectable scoreline. It was looking like a 16-1 was well and truly on our doorstep, and FlipSide go ahead and slam that door as they look to try and pull back a couple of rounds.
Still, while it is mathematically doable, I think the confidence on Big is going to be something very, very difficult. We do see just pistols, and Legia, he removes the face of Electronica early on as he takes down Tabson. No armor on these big players, so maybe hoping to invest a little bit more into the second round in terms of pistols and no armor again, but I can't expect too much with only Next armored up. I'd like to see him on some kind of Deagle, or, you know, he does get the UMP. I feel like if you have an armored player, put him on a gun like a Deagle. Far more effective. Either way, we are going to see Big charge up through long. Only one player close, that's Blade. He's in the toilets. Support will come in the form of Markelov and World Edit, who rotate back on through the CT spawn, and leaving just Waylander down through B. There's Big setup for a bit of a burst play. One Molotov is all they have. Utility is not exactly their main game, but Kiev will throw that out as they start to push on in. World Edit mollied off in bank, but it's not going to be a great molly as he can just peek on through it. Takes the first, it's got B to fall, and now we'll see just Big overrun this A site, but still with no picks going their favour. World Edit needs to die, and he will. Kiev striking again with the Deagle, but a recontrol of short will be grabbed here from FlipSide. Blade and Markelov moving their way back into the site, but if this bomb crosses, Kiev could be very dangerous. They could get this plant. He'll actually throw it over. Next can pick that up, but Markelov will take him down. Now it's all on Kiev. A 1v2 is going to be needed, and I wouldn't put it past him.
Got the high-powered hand cannon that is the Deagle, but he's also got a UMP round to the skull, which will be impeding his ability to clutch. 3 to 14 as FlipSide go ahead and pick themselves up their second round consecutively. No bomb plant for Big. It means that they will just be full eco. Or force buy down into this round.
Yeah, I was expecting this.
Yeah, I mean, actually, they went for, you know, a bit of a save in that previous, so they're going to go for the late force up across these players, perhaps just charge out in towards one of these sites. They have a couple of smokes, a couple of flashes as well to try and make this work. The push in through lower. Kiev is going to be here alone. The rest of his team trying to grab control of mid, and actually, this is going to be good for them. Blade's been somewhat left to fend for himself and connected. There are still players over middle, but a singular smoke could render him useless. Instead, they're going to turn their attention to long, but look at this push from Waylander. He's getting so much information. Electronic now takes the peek out towards long, and the jig is up. Everyone's here from Big, and FlipSide are more than aware of that fact.
Waylander's not even done. He's just running in through spawn. If he sets himself up towards playground, could be great, but he can't afford to get spotted. Kiev's found his way back here, and Next as well, holding the flank. They know where he is, but Blade's at least opening up with the first kill in toilets. Drops God B. Legia looking to trade, but he's very, very close. As FlipSide seem to be set up perfectly for this one. They have the manpower on this A site to deal with, thanks to the information gained by Waylander. But as I say that, he goes down, and Tabson as well strikes with a pistol. What's happening? Blade finally drops another, but he needs to go big because it's back into a 3-on-3. A weapon has been secured on Kiev, and they can just drop down into this B site. They have the time to play with. No one's there to defend other than Markelov, and he's more playing passive for the retake, so Big could be guaranteed a free bomb plant, but they actually hit in towards A, and this is a little more dangerous because this is where the rifles rely. And Electronic at the range with the M4. Going to switch over to the pistol after running out of ammo, and Kiev trades. So a 2-on-2. 30 seconds left, a double rotation from FlipSide. They have both players here. This should just be the closeout, but Tabson's up close. Blade will drop him, and now it's all onto Kiev once again.
But from a round that they, you know, only forced across a couple of players, and it is going to be a very good result for them. Finding 3 frags, keeping the economy of FlipSide low, and now the buy is going to be coming in from Big. They've still got 10 rounds to their advantage. We're going to be seeing rifles almost across the board, with Gobby picking up the UMP in favor of the AK, so he can get that little bit extra utility on the cards. And While they send Legia alone over towards that B-bomb site, everyone else are going to try and make their way out through mid. Next goes to grab control of connector, but already they lose Keeve early on, one of the key players from Big, and it looks to be a bit of a repeat of Cash from earlier on, where Big kept an amazing CT side, and now on their T side, it's really started to slow down. And, you know, I feel like a lot of that maybe could be when you look over towards Tabson. He's usually the player we expect to have, having these insane entries, and a lot of pressure's been on him lately. In this matchup, though, he has fallen a little bit silent, a little bit more silent than we would like to expect. Still incredibly consistent, still, you know, getting those frags when they need him to, but not quite, you know, entering as much as we would like.
Let's see if Big can get the damage done without Keeve, though. Rifles remain across the rest of the players. They're set up towards long once again, but this time with no information on the whereabouts of these CTs. No one's peeking. We have 3 players on the A site. That's a dangerous force. Typically, it's more common to see a triple B play, or at least a 2-2 with a connector play. But right now, FlipSid, they've got a lot of manpower to deal with. And Big, they are pushing up close. Next is just on the other side of the toilets. In the meantime, they're going to try and make their way down long as well. And Electronic just waiting, but it's well there to strike once again. 2 kills so far. Electronic jumps up on top of the site to drop another one. Got B trades, but Electronic still doing the damage. He will get tagged up from the Molotov, but Nex is the only one standing to pull anything back for Big. It's a 1v4, 20 seconds. Not looking doable despite the scoreline already. Next will take down World Edit, so the AWP is gone, but he doesn't realise his player's behind him, or at least a player. Electronic sprays him down, and FlipSid will pick up the round. It's 5-14, slowly pulling their way back, but again, all it's going to take is one mistake to give up map point. And a pause even going to be called out from Big as well. I can only assume this is a tactical, but I mean, this is something that FlipSid didn't do at all on their T side, and now Big are pulling it in after only losing 4 rounds.
Yeah, I feel like Big are more than aware of their T sides being a little bit lackluster in these last couple of maps, so they are looking to try and keep on top of things here. So curious to see what the decision is going to be. As you can see, Godby's bought down the pistol and armor, going to have some utility to play around with as well. They're going to be getting a decent bit of cash on the back of the loss bonus, so they can actually afford to force buy down on a couple of these players to try and make things a bit more difficult. They've got plenty of rounds as well between them and FlipSid to work with, so we will be seeing the force come in, buy down what they can. Next going to be the bank of Big, trying to keep the money up so they can get that AWP in the next round for Keeve, and might just be the B play early on. They're going to be sending Godby solo out towards mid. Now he's got a lot of utility. If he goes down early on, then they're going to lose half of everything they've invested into this round early on, but he does sneak on by.
I think at this point they're just waiting for him to throw the smokes and mollies down through long, try and get some kind of distraction play towards that A site, and then just burst in through the tunnel and B. That looks like the more likely option. Godby's pushed up, he's not going to peek, he's going to throw in his nades, and that could give away a lot of information, or false information to FlipSid. They may not know about this. You can easily see the drawback. Markelov's rotating, Blade's already on A. This is a good fake so far from Godby. Again, he's going to push out alone, he gives away the information, now it's all on Waylander down the B site, sprays down 2, runs out of ammo on the 3rd, but the damage is done, and while Legia trades, it still looks like an undoable round for Big. A nice attempt to get a bomb plant, but it's not going to draw enough FlipSid members away, and with the fast rotations on Overpass, they're going to be back into the site in time, but Legia, 4 HP in the smoke, gets the plant, and he even follows up with a kill. That's more than Big bargained for.
Yeah, I mean, as a result, they're going to have a whole load of money to invest into this next round with. And I mean, you know, judging by their success down towards that B-bomb site in this round with so little invested, it wouldn't surprise me if we see them go B yet again with a very similar strategy, this time with rifles up behind them. On the side of FlipSid tactics, we're still going to be seeing what we're used to, rifles across the board with the AWP up on World Edit. The economy now starting to build up just a little bit. We can still see Waylander with very little. If they do have damage done to them in this round, then the economy will be impeded in its early stages. They need to keep chaining together these rounds. World Edit going to be taking the peek up through mid, this time pop flash back, so they counteract World Edit's aggression in through mid with that flash. Keep him at bay. Absent. Going to be joining up with Godby and Keeve over here towards Park. Leggy is watching the flank, and Waylander's looking like he's a little bit tempted to push on through. Electronic over at long actually going to be flashed back as well as they try to gain some presence here. He spots out 3 players over at long and now falls back into the relative safety of the A-bomb site.
A slow progression up through long. Big not getting any information just so far. On FlipSid, still have a lot of utility to work with. Big not managing to draw any of that out really from the CT side, and that's something that's very important when you have this many Molotovs. If Big can throw a couple of fake smokes and flashes towards either side of the map, we are going to force out some nades. And then FlipSid will be, well, severely impacted when it comes to that fast play, but Big rerouting down towards B they do go. 2 players in the connector as well. It's going to be Nex and Tabson looking to try and make their way through short. And with the support coming out through long, Legia is going to be ready throwing this smoke. Maybe bait out some Molotovs early, or they seem to just be going for the full burst here. Smokes are going to be set up. That's a heaven smoke for Nex. Legia as well following up. And now Big, they're going to be going for the fast play. Only 1 player in the site. Markelov is smoked down in CT, and Waylander having to commit here as the nades come raining through. God B finds the opener, but he might get traded here as Waylander's very close. Bomb not planted. 10 seconds remaining. They're finally going to go for it, but Blade pushes in. He gets himself 2. Trades back and forth with the bomb. It's still not down.
They have to go ahead and go for the plant. Next to be standing in that Molotov, just chipped away at. Has to watch out, and well, it in through the wood, finds the frag. It's all on Legia, who does get the bomb down, but that's all his job has been in these last couple of rounds. Resident bomb planter. He finds himself 2 frags yet again, trying to do the best he can. But FlipSid are going to be picking themselves up a 7th. Big, in desperate need of working on these T sides, it seems. They're going to be buying down what they can once more, which is going to be plenty. Legia dropping the AWP over to Eve, and now we've got the rest of the team buying on down. Rifles galore, plenty of utility between them. Everything they could possibly need to try and pick up this 15th round and at least secure themselves overtime.
I'm just surprised they're pulling it back so well. I would have thought they would crumble at the first hurdle. But either way, how long will this comeback last? I'm not worried yet for Big. Once it gets to maybe 10, 12 rounds, I'd start to get a little bit concerned, but right now it's still okay in scoreline for Big. Next finds the opener as well. Bit of over-aggression from Waylander, looking for that pick-down monster. And the smoke will go down, denying any chance of a trade for FlipSid. They have to sit in this 4v5 now, with the disadvantage, with limited utility as well. And so now this is the best chance Big have had to exploit. A fairly low buy in terms of utility. Only nades and a Molotov left. 1 smoke on Blade. He's in that B site, at least where it's needed more often than not, but he spots the players towards short. That's some information. Has his smoke poised as well to go down. Big, looking to try and make some, some kind of play up through short. And it's very clear to us that they're hitting in towards B, but FlipSid still have 2 players on that A side of the map. They have no information on their whereabouts just yet. I think they should go for a gamble rotation, and they will. Electronic falls down towards B after hearing the spray of the smoke. And Big, here comes their eventual setup. Flashes go through. It seems like they're going to push.
Maybe pushing on in. Blade first man to find the frag. That's going to be the equalizer back number 4 and 4. They're just having so much trouble flushing these players at the site. And Electronic's going to go aggressive. Does get 1. Keeps there to return. But Markelov chiming in with 2. It all falls on a Tabson, who's going to go ahead and get 2 of his own. Looking for the 3rd. Taxwell let it down so incredibly low. And now a 1-on-1. 20 seconds left. Has to go for the bomb. Tabson playing it on the site. Well, they're going to spot him out, but misses that first shot. And he's so low on HP. It's going to take 1 bullet from either one of these players to clutch this out. Bomb plant going to be coming on in. Well, that it now taking the peek out. Tabson going to fake flash around the corner. Takes the peek, and well, that it will go down big to arrive at match point. 7-15 on the back of a sleek 1v3 from Tabson. The man who they needed to step up steps up when they need it most. And now they're 1 round between them and victory.
Yeah, again, for those wondering, the winner of this is going to be going through to the quarterfinals of the closed qualifier for Cologne 2017 and playing up against Heroic. So it's a big victory if Big do pick this one up. And FlipSid, limited in utility once again. This time they have no Molotovs, no HEs, it's all smokes and flashes galore. No kits either on the CT side. Retake is going to be a difficult spot to be in. And now we are going to see how they fare up against the full buy from Big, or at least almost full buy with a couple of UMPs in the mix. AWP on Kiev. 1 minute 20 on the clock for Big to make their show. It's going to be 1 close player in toilets. This is Electronic, and look at his position. Big are actually walking right past him. This could be good. I'm sure they'll expect the potential of him being here, but he may have a bit of an element of surprise as he moves on back. Maybe playing this one a little bit safer, not wanting to give away the man advantage without having the knowledge of where the enemies are. And as a result, he plays close in towards toilets, meaning World has to spot his shot. Get that information, make sure they're not pushing him from behind. But Kiev, on the other side of the map, in through smoke, he's taking down Waylander. A good start for Big.
Yeah, they tried to flash themselves out for the peek over towards long just before that smoke popped, and Kiev was there with the AWP. Needless to say, he beats Waylander you know, 100 times out of 10 when Waylander only finds himself with the UMP in that angle at that range. Got B up through short as well, going to do the damage on the blade, and he will go down. The executing towards B going to be well and truly underway. Electronic hot on their heels with the rotate. Markov has to buy time for the retake to come on in, but he's going to fall at the first hurdle. Got B fully flashed. Will go down to Electronic as a 2-on-2 ensues. They go ahead and pull things back from the brink of defeat, but suddenly Electronic falls at short as Keeve executes him. And now it's all on World Edit 1v2, trying to reload over in pit, but Legia shuts him down, and Big, they're going to go ahead and win things out. 16-7 on FlipSide's map pick. That puts them at 2-0 in the series, which means they will win it out.
Yep, that's it. That's a game closed. Big will go through, and we'll have a look at the bracket in a second as well. But what a win for Big there. They actually take it away from FlipSide in such a dominant fashion. FlipSide attempt to bring that one back a little bit. They get a few rounds there over on that second half, but it will not be enough to see them close it out and bring it all the way. And we won't even see the third map. That third map being, of course, Inferno. But yeah, that's not going to be coming through. So this will actually just be the bracket. I'll update that for you guys, and we'll get it on screen so you can see what's happening tomorrow. Sadly, that's all the broadcast we have for today, though. That's it completely done, which is a weird one to say. Only one best of 3. We're going to be continuing with the quarterfinals coming up tomorrow. But here's the bracket for now. As you can see, the logo is not there, but we've got Big versus Heroic is going to be the first game, and following up, we've obviously got the bracket going to be updated along the way after the other matches are completed. But what a series as well. As a dominant performance from Big. I'm looking very much forward to seeing how they fare up in the bracket, and obviously top 2 from EU are going to be making it through to Cologne 2017, a massive tournament, and it'd be so cool to see a German team there. But either way, we are going to be heading off for now. We will be back tomorrow with the rest of the broadcast for the quarters, semis and finals. And again, before we do go, just a bit of a sellout. If you have enjoyed the casting, and I very much hope you have, you can check Harry, the wonderful Harry here, and my own Twitters out if you would like. If you put !caster in the chat, it will give you our Twitters. So yeah, go ahead and do that if you want to check us out. Leave us any kind of support or feedback after today's broadcast. And again, if anything production-wise wasn't up to standard for you guys, be sure to tweet at me, and I'll make sure I get that fixed for tomorrow. Until then, though, guys, we're going to be heading off. Any final words, Harry?
Heave blew my mind multiple times, and then he resuscitated my heart and made me love him. Take care, everyone.
We'll see you tomorrow.